Hi, this is Millie, and coming up later I will show you how to use this to make this. A real top for Daisy. You know, in case you don't like the rubber one. Special delivery all the way from America. Let's get her out of the bag. A rainbow little sister. I wasn't sure about getting one of these, but I have the Rainbow Junior, normal Rainbow High, and one of the original Poopsie dolls that I managed to get in a second-hand shop. Oh, nice box. So she was $9.99. There are 6, and I've ordered her as well. She'll be on the way in a few days' time, I hope. But she wasn't in stock yet. There's no best friend like a little sister. I've got 2 of those. Shine brighter together. Oh, and her name is Daisy Madison. Sunny's little sister. I do like yellow. She's very sweet. She's for ages 4 up, which is good. I can imagine a 4-year-old being quite happy to play with this little one because she's, very sturdy. She doesn't have the articulation of her bigger sisters, which is good for a small child. She comes with a handbag that you can... Oh, yes, you can open it. It has a bow at the front. She comes with a pair of shoes with little stars at the side. They are right and left. She comes with a pet. It's a unicorn. It's hard plastic and sparkly. She has a sparkly horn. The head does not move. It's cute. So here's her artwork. That's very sweet. Now I'm going to put this out of the way because it's affecting the focus. So let's have a look at little Daisy. The biggest difference between her and her bigger sisters are that the eyes are painted on. They're not inset. I'll show you the difference. Let's get these out of the way. Here's her big sister, Sunny. These are inset eyes, which means they can be removed and replaced, whereas these are painted on. Oh, yes, I think they look like sisters. She's very pretty, but I don't like those black lines here. I don't know why manufacturers do that, and this is not the only type of doll that has them. Blythe dolls, the fake Blythe midi dolls have them. I've seen other dolls with them as well. The hair is not the best quality, but, it's hair. She has a lovely little plait here going into the side ponytail. Her top, unfortunately, is rubber. I don't like that. But the skirt is really nice. It's a lovely checked fabric. It's got a proper waistband. It has a towel underskirt. And it opens and closes at the back with Velcro. Oh, she's got yellow knickers on with a scalloped top edge. So, her head mold, 2024 MGA. Body mold. No, the body doesn't say anything. Oh, there's a mark, 2 marks, but they're at the back, so that doesn't bother me. Her hands have both got the same expression. She's got the peace sign on both hands. I wish they hadn't done it on both hands, though. 2 different hand signals would have been much nicer. And she's got flat feet. She would, because she's a child doll. Yep, there's a bit of weight to her. She's not cheap rubbish. So I think she's cute, and I'm glad I'm getting another one. Here she is all dressed up. I think she's great for a 4-year-old, and up, obviously. And it's a cute, durable pet. Oh, can she sit? I forgot. Yes, she can. She's got the simple articulation where the head can go side to side, but not up and down. The arms don't really come out, but they do go up and down. Same as the legs. They almost do the splits. And they don't come out. Here's a size comparison next to Chelsea. Next to Barbie Extra Mini. And Disney Animator, who's quite a bit smaller, I think. Yeah, okay. So the nearest one in height is the Barbie Extra Mini, with Chelsea not that far behind. The Barbie Extra Mini's dress is rather tight and a bit short. She definitely can't wear her boots. She can wear Chelsea's dress. It is a bit tight as well, but it's longer. But the shoes, however, definitely won't work. They're too small and they're too narrow. That's rubber, this is fabric. It must be glued on, which means I can hopefully rip it off and make her a real top. Oh, it's stitched on. Alright, I can deal with that. Handy unpicker to the rescue. That didn't take too long, and the skirt is still usable. We've lost the top row of stitching, but that doesn't really matter. And the Velcro is still in place. Now we have a gorgeous little skirt. And little Daisy needs a top. The easiest top is just a piece of ribbon wrapped around her. I've pinned this at the back, but you can add fasteners, obviously, if you wanted this as a long-term top. And you could add some ribbons to use as straps, which is cute. Now, what's the best way of using this as a template? It's not quite two-dimensional, so... Do not cut the shoulders. I regretted it later. It looks very nice flattened like that, but it really is not the most user-friendly way of making a sewing pattern. So what I should have done, instead of cutting the shoulders, I should have cut the side. Silly me. So this looks about halfway. Yes, that would have been more sensible. This is a reshoot because I showed you how to trace your bodice to get this pattern. Not this one. And this is the one I like. So what you do is, yours will obviously be joined at the shoulders, unlike mine, seeing as I made a silly mistake of cutting it there instead of at the sides. You trace around the whole thing, actually, yes. And that will give you a pattern that you know will fit. That's always a relief, knowing that something will fit when you're making it. Right, so for you it'll be easier because your shoulders are still joined and I've got to guess the right angle for mine. Let's go with that. And actually at this point you only need to draw one side if you want to make sure that it's completely identical on both sides, because I'll show you how to make sure of that. once I've finished drawing this. You want to get the center of this. I'm going to guess it, but it would be best if you measured it. And then you're going to draw a line down the center. That's so messy. But this is only a rough draft to show you how I did it. Then I'm guessing that. I'll decide which half I like the look of better. I might go for that. They're both a bit wonky though. Yes, I prefer the one I made yesterday. These don't stick out as much as those. And now what you do is you get a blank piece of paper, you go over to your window, place the paper on top, and you'll draw the pattern. Also draw the line down the center, and when you've done that, you flip this over, and then you draw it on the other side. And this becomes this. It's not as good as the one I did yesterday because I did take more time over that. So this now can be made out of normal cotton and lined, but as you saw, I'm using an old vest, which is stretch fabric. So I've traced out the pattern using this heat erasable pen. All the lines will disappear with a hot iron. And I've drawn around the rough seam allowance that I'll probably use. It's thinner around the curved edges because you need to fold these in and stitch them down, and it's easier if they're thinner. This works for jersey. It's not really recommended for cotton or any fabric that frays. So the seam allowances at the sides are bigger and also at the bottom because they don't need to be tiny. To make sewing the curves easier, because you do have to fold this in, which is tricky. Yes, I think I've made the seam allowance a little bit too small. So yes, if I were you, make that a little bit bigger. And to make it easier to sew, I normally glue it down with a fabric glue stick. I can't find it, so I've got a normal glue stick. Yes, I'm pressing it down, and then I will just turn over the seam allowance. Oh yeah, it sort of works. And then, well, ideally I would glue the whole thing first before trying to stick it down. I've never tried it with a normal glue stick. Ooh. Let's do the front again. And it just keeps the jersey in place while you're stitching it. So I don't know how it's going to be putting a needle through normal glue. Ooh. Oh yes, and I'm doing this before I cut out the rest of the pattern. No glue there. Not much glue there. Right, so now let's take a needle and thread and stitch all the way around. So I'm using a back stitch. Your thread is in the middle. You go back to the previous stitch and then you go forward to make the next stitch. I can't demonstrate much, I'm afraid, because this phone won't stay in focus close up. So I'm just going to put a few little stitches on the spot to secure the thread. And now we have a nice sewn neckline, and the inside, oh, yep, I could have done with a larger seam allowance. This one's just a touch too small there. So I've learnt my lesson, and next I will be doing this armhole, leaving this one uncut, and I will definitely make the seam allowance just a little bit longer. One armhole done, one more to go. 3 cheers for the cheap glue stick. It works exactly the same as the fabric one. The fabric one is more pen-shaped and it's by Sewline. It is meant for fabric, so I'm sure it must be better. This works very well. Oh, in fact, the Sewline glue stick was given to me a few years ago by one of my little sisters. So yes, it would have been appropriate to use it, but I can't find it. As for thread, for constructing doll clothes, you can use, well, you can use the right colour, but you can actually use like a pale grey or beige, because you don't really see it, but for top stitching like this, you do need the right colour unless you want to contrast. One way of getting lots of colours quite cheaply is to buy one of these. A bobbin container with lots of different colour threads. Even if the bobbins don't match your sewing machine, if you have one, they're very useful. It's a cheap way of getting a lot of thread, because how many are here? 1, 5, 20. It's like this cost maybe £3 or £4, I think, on a special offer in AliExpress or Temu. And to get 20 spools of thread, that's going to cost a minimum of £20. Oh, and sometimes Aldi and Lidl sell sets where you get bobbins and reels of thread. It's very good. So next I'm going to cut off the excess fabric from the sides, pin them together, and sew the side seam. Then I'll do it to the other side as well. That's the side seams done. So now I'm just going to finger press the seams open. Just like that. But gently, because this is stretch fabric. You don't want to stretch it out of shape. When I finish the top, I will be ironing it. So iron down these side seams properly. And that will get rid of all the orange pen marks. So now I'm going to cut off the excess fabric from the back and the bottoms and sew all along. There has to be an overlap at the back for the snap fasteners. So the double seam allowance gives me this much for the snap fasteners. And then I'll fold over the bottom like that. Here it is all pinned. I'm going to start here, then sew all the way around. And then it'll almost be finished. Here it is. I've gone all the way around. I've left the thread attached because now I'm going to attach a snap fastener. I'll just use one. There's not much length here. So for snap fasteners, I like to use these tiny ones. They're size 000. which is perfect for doll clothes. And normally the bit that sticks out, I call that the giver. I put at the top, and then the taker, the one that's bigger and has the big hole, I'll put that there. Here it is. I've got the snap fastener on, and now I have to press it to open up the seams properly, although they don't look too bad after a finger press. But I've got to get rid of those orange marks, and they always look better after a press. And then I can press this better as well. It came out of the box a little bit. And I replaced that line of stitching at the top. Did that by hand, same as this, because I mean I could do it by machine, but it's tiny and it's stretched, so it wouldn't be very good. Normally I would use this to press doll clothes, but you probably don't have one of those, so I'm going to try it using the household iron. Okie dokie. In fact, I'm doing it using the household iron whilst looking through my phone. Hey, what's life without a little bit of a challenge? It's working. Let's get those seams nice and flat. Press it like that as well. Get those armholes flat. I think I'm happy with that. Now the skirt. Oh yes, there's tulle underneath, so I'm going to move that up. Of course, if you're a child, don't do this. Not without adult supervision. Actually, I think I'll carry on. It looks so much better, so let's do the entire skirt. Oh yes, that was worth doing. Okie dokie, let's get Daisy. That is her name, yes. Let's get little Daisy into her outfit. Because normally if you make clothes for a doll, you would try on the pattern first or make a toile, which is like a practice piece. You wouldn't just go ahead and blindly make one without ever trying anything on, which is what I've just done. So let's see. Oh, it fits. A bit looser than I thought it would be. Oh, there, that's nice. I like that neckline. Alright, let's put on the skirt. There. It's not perfect, but Daisy has a real top. bit better than a rubber one. Yay! So if you wanted to, you could sew a button there or a little bow. Oh, fabulous. So yes, you could definitely make this top out of cotton as well, but ideally you would need a facing or a lining to get tidy seams. I think she likes it. And I think a little unicorn likes it. You can turn this into this and make Daisy a real top. Yay! I'm so glad that worked. It's a bit too big for the Barbie Extra Mini. Very loose in the waist. It doesn't look too bad on Chelsea. Fits at the waist, but at the back the top is a bit gathered. It works though. You could make that pattern into a dress. In fact, you could do that with Daisy as well.